Reports show that between 15 to 20% of people with severe and enduring mental health problems are in paid employment. In the Belfast area, this figure stands at less than 5%. Across the UK, over 15 million days were recorded as lost in 2013 due to sickness absence for mental health problems, at a considerable cost to the economy. Commissioning guidance recommends that public services should lead the way in the employment of people with mental health problems. The Belfast Trust shows private industries how making reasonable adjustments can ensure effective employment practice. Evidence shows that public services that have developed proactive employment and support policies for employees with experience of mental health problems actually experience lower levels of sickness than the general trust workforce. One of the most significant barriers to work is the stigma that people with mental illness often face. Many service users say that the barriers they face to inclusion are often more disabling than their mental illness itself. Some healthcare professionals have low expectations, believing that work is not a realistic goal of recovery, and that it's often out of reach for service users. This has tended to leave service users to abandon the idea of work altogether. Mental health organisations, health trusts and government bodies work in partnership to support people returning to work, for example, through the Condition Management Programme. In 2011, the Belfast Trust decided to ring-fence new monies specifically for a range of posts for people with lived experience of mental health services. This exemplar employer scheme recognises the important role work plays in people's general mental well-being.
I broke down after many years of abusing myself through drink and other stuff, and I cried out for help. And my hope was that I didn't want to live the life I was living anymore, but I didn't know how to turn it around. So I did get referred to the trauma centre, trauma resource centre, and I got matched up with a brilliant counsellor and an OT. And through many years, long years, I started rebuilding and understanding myself. One of my goals was to get back to work, but I couldn't see how it would help, because if I disclosed that I had mental health issues, employers wouldn't touch you, you'd be thrown in the bin. So the EXEMPLAR programme, I was told about it through my OT, and it gave me a wee bit of hope. So I went for the job of OT assistant and did the interview and got offered the job, and I couldn't believe my life. And I'd like to say to anybody, hang in there, make yourself go to the appointments. It is a long road, but it is possible to achieve the new normal that you want for your life.
I have struggled with my mental health since my early teens due to personal life experiences and health conditions. I constantly felt like I was trying hard to keep my head above water. And as I had a family to think of, my needs were the last of my priorities. So in my previous job, I was deeply unhappy. I worked very hard, I gave everything to the job, but in the end it wasn't worth my happiness, and I had to make the choice for myself. And I did. In my current position at the Recovery College, I am taken aback by how much support is available to me. My managers and other staff and the Workable programme are very supportive of my mental health conditions. I feel I can speak and be heard, and that I don't have to bottle it up and hide it. But when I was offered the job at the Recovery College, I felt like I had won the lottery. It is the thing in my life I do for me. It may not seem like a glamorous job, but I love it. I really do.
The Occupational Therapy Acute Job Clinic was set up to support service users who are acutely unwell and currently in work, by providing practical support, linking with employers, and promoting returning to work as a realistic goal of recovery. For some people, this may be as straightforward as ensuring that sick lines are submitted on time and contact is kept with their employer. For others, it can take the form of signposting or the involvement of other agencies, for example Workable, devising return to work plans and suggestions for reasonable adjustments, discussions around disclosure, liaison with employers or occupational health departments. The overarching aim is ensuring that people can return to their job after an acute episode of mental ill health in a supported way.
Individual Placement and Support, or IPS, is an international initiative that really works. The Belfast Trust is the first in Northern Ireland to use this model, in partnership with Action Mental Health, which supports people with severe mental health problems to find suitable jobs in a competitive environment. IPS tries to match people to their choice of career, reflecting their hopes, aspirations, interests and skills. The model has clear principles, including accessibility, time unlimited support, and rapid job search in the open competitive market. What really makes it work is the partnership between the individual employment specialists and the occupational therapists in the team to ensure a very personalised service. Over the past year, 19 service users were successful in securing employment through individual placement and support.
When you suddenly decide to change your job, move to a new city, and do all this while you're pregnant with your first baby, you might think that it would all be a bit too much. Well, I thought I could do it. I thought I could have it all. I did all this in the space of a few months. Started a high-flying job, settled into a new city as a single parent, and thought, yeah, I can do all this. This is no problem. Well, actually, you can't have it all, especially if, like me, you've had bouts of depression since teenage years. So I couldn't cope, and I went undiagnosed with bipolar disorder for about a year. I hit a wall, everything fell apart, and without the intervention of family and friends, I'm not sure what would have happened, but as it was, they helped me and I was able to recover gradually. When I felt ready, I started to apply for jobs, keen to normalise my life after my extended career break. Fast forward 5 years, and despite dozens of applications and a couple of interviews, I was still jobless. But the health system was working for me. My psychologist referred me to an occupational therapist, and he persuaded me to try things that were beyond my comfort zone, like art classes, group creative writing, going for walks in a group. Each of those activities helped me to overcome feelings of abnormality and of loneliness. From there, I heard about the individual placement service. One of the things I immediately liked about the service is the use of the word individual. Although I had 20 years work experience under my belt, including running my own business and working in some high-profile roles, I still found it a struggle to get interviews for jobs. Within 6 months, I was interviewed for an office manager job with a small company. And although they felt I wasn't quite right for that role, they created a new role for me based on my skills and experience and offered me a job. So the day I got that phone call was heavenly. I realised that they wanted me, not just anybody, but me. And a year on, they still want me. I'm not sure I would have got here without the individual placement service, and I feel very strongly that the link between good mental health and meaningful work is very close. I think very strongly that everyone should be able to access the individual placement service.
Peer support is practical and emotional support from someone who has lived experience of mental distress or illness and has been on their own recovery journey. Both peer support workers and the service users they are supporting feel empowered in their own recovery journey, have greater confidence and self-esteem, and a more positive sense of identity.
I think the most important thing about being a peer support worker is empathy and drawing on your own experiences and interests. I'm particularly interested in sports and keeping fit. I help people to make exercise part of their everyday lives, even if it's just going out for a walk to the shops. It's a joint effort where myself and the service user motivate and encourage each other to make the exercise fun and something to look forward to.
Not everyone feels ready to consider paid employment, but do want to do something productive. There can be numerous barriers that service users face in trying to access paid employment. Not having worked for a long time, perhaps never having had a job despite wanting to work, negative experiences of trying to stay on work when unwell, not having the right support at that time, and others' concerns that they may not do so well. For some individuals, volunteering with a local organisation or studying at a local college can be a real confidence booster and often the first step back to competitive employment. For others, studying or volunteering can provide a meaningful role in itself. Work in the broadest sense gives us all a sense of purpose and identity, a chance to contribute to our local communities, meet friends and develop social networks. It's important that we ask the work question. Having a mental health condition doesn't mean you can never work again. We just may need to be creative. With the right support at the right time, everyone can achieve their personal vocational goals.
Some of our service users may also have an offending background linked to when they have been particularly mentally unwell. They can feel doubly discriminated against in relation to disclosure, as sharing their mental health and offending history will place them at a direct disadvantage to obtaining work. To counter this problem, the Belfast Trust have combined the work of Occupational Therapy alongside an external training organisation called Extern Works. This partnership provides users with opportunities to gain a variety of vocational qualifications and social skills, as well as on-the-job work experience. Service users work on a one-to-one basis with tutors or in small groups in order to achieve qualifications across catering, joinery, ICT, maths and English, therefore improving employability opportunities and soft skills. They are also able to prepare for work with CV preparation, job searching and interview skills.
Up from the age of 16 I found it hard to trust people. I was really tortured and tormented inside. I couldn't talk to nobody until nursing staff approached me and were asking questions, and they were like, what's wrong with you, is this wrong with you, and putting no things to me, and I was able to talk back and express how I was feeling inside mentally. And since they came here and I engaged, it's changed me a bit, you know. I've got more confidence and stuff to speak. I'm doing maths, I've done English and ICT, computers. I have 5 or 6 classes a week, and I do trust and staff notation stuff, you know. I hope and really do believe that the criminal part of me is gone. Would put that down to Sean Klein, yeah, definitely.
We recognise that many employers may be daunted by the prospect of dealing with an employee with mental ill health. However, as 1 in 4 people have mental health problems, many employers are already dealing with these issues. These schemes have been so successful that they benefit both the employer and the employee. The important point, however, to remember is that the necessary policies, practices and processes must be in place.
Despite the fact that many people with mental health issues do want to work, they continue to be underrepresented in the labour market. This is something that the Belfast Trust is trying to redress. By being open to new initiatives, the Belfast Trust is ensuring that mental health service users are able to play a part both in the organisation and the wider community. The Trust realises that one size doesn't fit all, and it's not simply about getting people back into work. Work isn't necessarily suitable for everybody, but it's about finding out whatever works for you.